Have you ever found yourself in a situation when you are searching for a specific email and you just can't find it?
Yes, I'm looking. Yes, I am looking.
Hejsan hej! I am Pixelpia. In today's video I will show you how you can use labels and filters to really organize your inbox in Gmail. So let's move over to my computer. So here we are, and this is how my inbox used to look like. You see, it's a total mess, and finding a specific email here isn't that easy. But to make it a little easier for you to see what I'm doing today, we're gonna move over to another of my email accounts. This looks a little better. I have only 2 emails here, both sent from 2 of my other email accounts. So let's start creating our first filter by going to settings and see all settings. If you look at the top, we have general, and the next tab is labels. First, we have the system labels. Then we have categories, and we have create new label. And in this case, I'm gonna call the first label we're making Pixelpia and hit create. And let me just quickly explain the difference between a category and a label. An email can only be assigned to one category. If we instead use labels, one email can be assigned to several different labels. So let's see what we're gonna do with the label Pixelpia. As you can see, it shows up in the left side here. Let's open the first email that comes from Pia. At the top you see we have a sign for labels, and when we click that we can choose Pixelpia and then apply. Let's go back to the inbox, and as you can see, this email now have Pixelpia in front of its subject line. So let's open it again and click on the 3 little dots to the right and shows add filter, and in this case it's filter from mail that come from pia@pixelpia.com. I'm gonna skip the inbox, archive it. I'm gonna apply the label Pixelpia, and I'm also choosing to apply this to one matching conversation. That means that in my Gmail account there is one more email that is from pia@pixelpia.com. So I mark those 3 and say create filter. This email has now both a filter and a label. When I apply this filter, the email disappears from the inbox, while it still shows up under my label Pixelpia. So now let's go back and look at the other email, the email from Pixelpia. I create a label again, but this time I want to create a new label, and I will call it for me personal. But it's still an email that should fall under the label Pixelpia. So I mark nest label under, click the little down arrow, and there I can choose Pixelpia and create. If you now look to the left, we have Pixelpia, and underneath that we have the label for me personal. I will also create a filter for this one. I will now try to send an email from my Pixelpia account to see what happens. So I have refreshed. The email in this case should skip the inbox. And as you can see, it's not in the inbox. But if you look to the left, for me personal is now in a bold font, which means I have a new email in that. So this email went straight into the label for me personal under the label Pixelpia. So what if I need to edit a label I have created? To do that, we go back to settings, see all settings, and we go to labels. If we scroll down, we have my 2 labels I have created down there. And the third column, actions, is either you can remove a label totally or you can edit it. And note at the bottom, removing a label does not remove the email itself. It will end up in the inbox. If we want to edit our filters, we go to the tab Filters and Blocked Addresses, and here you have the different filters we have set up, and you can edit or delete. In the main menu on the left, if you click the 3 little dots after the label, you can assign a color, you can edit or delete, and do all the other things that I showed under settings. We can also use these labels to search. If I in the search bar write label Pixelpia, all the emails that fall under this label will show up. If I instead write label Pixelpia / for me personal, all those emails will show up. Now to the part where we set up a mailing list using a group. We have to start by setting up this in the contacts. So if you go to the right side panel and shows your contacts and open it in a large window, and in Chrome it will open in a new tab. If you look at the main menu to the left, you have Create Label. In this case, I am going to call the label Group MSG and say, I now shows the email addresses that I want to be included. In this case, I checkmark Pia and Pixelpia, and under label at the top, I choose the label, in this case Group MSG, and hit apply. I now go back to my Gmail, where I have to create the same label. I create label the same way I did before. I go under settings, labels, create label, group MSG, and it shows up as its own label on the left side. I now choose compose and start to write group, and there it is, group MSG. I hit enter, and as you can see, both email addresses that were included under this label in my contacts will now be put in the to section of the email. I hope this will help you to clean up and organize your inbox. If you still have any questions, please leave them down below. And remember, never stop learning.